Okay, now to finish off this little big gigantic hints and tips talk about real estate photography, I'm going to give you a little more detailed specs on how to photograph houses if you're a little more advanced user. Um, some things you'll have to keep in mind is this, for example, lights that are on the actual house, ceiling lights, bedroom lights, everything like that. You have to be careful because you have two choices. Either you go with all the lights off, or you go with lights on and you turn your little you have to be a bit more careful with the amount of light you give into the room, and the amount of the sync speed and the actual camera speed you allow to capture the image. So important things is when your shutter speed is really low, ambient lights will matter more in your image. So most of the times these little lights will be blown out. You fight this by getting your shutter speed a bit higher. So just test it out. If you're at 1/60th of a second and it's still blown out, go to 1/25 of a second and see if it's still blown out. And most of the times at 1/25 of a second it's not. So keep that in mind. If you have lights on, just get your shutter speed a bit higher so this doesn't blow out. Compensate the going up with your shutter speed with your flash power. So just bump it up a little bit more to compensate that you're not going to have so much ambient lights, and you'll do great for sure. Another trick or hint, or how you want to call it, when you're doing a photo that has a window on and you need to make the metering, just place your focus points on the window and the camera will probably say, if you're on manual, it will give you the correct exposure. Don't go and get the meter right in the middle. Just leave it a step or two up, because you'll lose some information outside, but you have more light to use inside, because sometimes your flash won't be powerful enough if it's a big space, a big living room. Sometimes your flash power isn't enough to reach all the corners. So be sure to give a little more light on the outside so you have enough light inside to work with, and you don't get black spaces and white spaces in the same image, because that's a big contrast and the image won't turn out so good. You need to balance it out, so this is not completely white and this is not completely black without information. So that's very important. Just keep that in mind. Be careful with that. A few things that I've been working with these past few months. I've been doing a lot more of real estate photography, and I've come to notice that sometimes my flash does need to get some extra power, so I get information on the window and get information on the actual division. And I started to notice that my flash doesn't spread the light enough for me to get a good even light all over the division. So actually I can show you guys what I got. So this is my usual flash that I use when I'm doing real estate photography. This is an SP700, as you can clearly see. Some people like to use it like this. It's a great solution because you'll get some light on your ceiling, and your ceiling will act as a reflector and give light to all of the division. And this will help out to give some extra light where you're pointing your camera. So if you have any reflective materials or anything like that, that will be a little bit better, because the light won't be straight ahead like this. But I still wasn't satisfied with this. So I went on eBay and got a little softbox light. This is completely plastic. This is nothing special. As you can see, this is clearly just a little diffuser for my my flash, and this works like this. I'll just mount it on so you guys can see. This was extremely cheap. I don't remember how much was it, but it was under £5. So this is a good little addition for your flash if you're doing interior photography, because this will soften the light and spread it a bit more, because the actual size and the actual spread my usual flash has is this size. When I have this on, it becomes a lot bigger. So this is just a thing that will help you out, even balancing out the light, so you don't have any extra work in Lightroom or Photoshop or anything like that. This will really help you out, because this will spread the light a lot more. You can use it upwards, you can use it facing forward, because the light will be much softer. I've used it like this for difficult lighting situations, and most of the times I'm using it like this, because this will help spread the light a lot more, and the images turn out much better, because you won't have anything on a wall. For example, if you have a paint wall, as you can see, most of the times when you're using a flash, you'll get something like this, because that's where the light actually hit and then spread. With this disappears and you have no problems. This came in very handy. I take this to every shoot I do, because I never know when I'm going to need it. Most of the times I use it. It's very rarely that I use my flash like this, because I've gotten so used to this little diffuser that I absolutely love it, and it's a really good addition if you're doing this type of work. In terms of cameras, lenses and all that, I've talked about it in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to give you some tips on some good lenses out there for you to use in a wide-angle photography. Not only for interiors or anything like that, but if you need a wide-angle lens, some good suggestions. I have a 17 to 35 2.8 from Nikon, that old photojournalistic god for everyone. I got it used with a little crack on the visor that has the focus distances. Everything else was great, so I went for it, and it works brilliantly. You're actually seeing it being used in this video, and as you can see, the image is very clear, very detailed. If you don't have that much money, Tokina is another brand, and third-party brand, that does a very good job with their lenses. The optical quality is very interesting for the prices they take their lenses with, and they did a great job managing their wide-angle lenses. There's one lens that I really liked. It's the 11 to 16 millimeters 2.8. That it's an amazing lens. It's sharp as hell. You have very few barrel distortion is non-existent, and you have very few distortion on your lines. I mean side distortion, I don't know how you call it. What I'm basically saying is your lines are like this, and most of the wide-angle lenses get them like this. So Tokina did a great job in keeping the lines as straight as possible. That's a very good example. Check out Tokina's wide-angle lenses, because they really did a great job. I already had this lens, so I didn't go to buy a new wide-angle lens, but if I had to do, I would turn to Tokina